to the radical variety show hosted by Novara Media at the World Transformed. Are you excited to be here? That sounded a bit Liberal Democrat to me. I said, are you excited to be here? Thank you all so much for coming. You could have been doing anything else, and yet you came here. And that's not a compliment. Why are you here? Make healthier life choices. This is an intervention.
And we have got a great show lined up for you tonight. We have an interview with the one, the only, John McDonnell. We've got a real-life game of swipe left, which is basically blind date for socialists. You can make a ooh. Yeah, I like that. And we've got a game show hosted by the one, the only, Ed Miliband. There will also be all manner of surprises, many of them planned, probably some of them fuck-ups, but just roll with it. We are going to need lots of noise, lots of good vibes, and also some volunteers from the audience.
But before we bring out our first guest, you might be wondering who these gorgeous gents behind me are. Please give it up for the Hard Left House Band. We've got... I think that was a wolf whistle. We've got the alluring Nick Jerd on bass. We have got the adorable Tom Ford on guitar. We have the exquisite Warren McCalla on drums. And it's the man, the myth, the beast from Brum on sax, keys and vocals, Soweto Kinch. Soweto, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm really excited. Bring it on.
Yeah, you excited for our first guest?
Very excited for our first guest.
Well, that's good.
Who could that be?
Who could that be? Well, it's fair to say it's a bit of a big deal. She is the first black woman elected to Parliament. She has made Hackney into a socialist fortress. And she's going to be the next Home Secretary of the United Kingdom. Make some noise for Diane Abbott.
Except none of us have abs, and we're on a budget. And before we sit you down to have a chat and get to know each other in Love Island parlance, I thought we would recreate our favourite moment of political comedy this year. Would you make a mojito with me? All right, do you actually know how to make a mojito? Okay, ice. We need some ice in here, I think.
Oh, it is?
Oh, wait, no, not ice. We do... Who knows how to make a mojito? All right. You? Okay, right, limes, I think. Limes. I'm just going to keep adding limes. Yes? Mint. Okay, right, mint. That's you. All right, and then I think you're supposed to slap it. You're like, bruise it. Slap it. Oh, okay, I think more mint. And I thought, okay, all right. You've got to do okay, tell me when. Okay, what next? Sugar. All right. How much sugar? All right. Okay. Yeah. More. Okay. And then what? Muddling. Okay. All right. That's you. Oh my God. Jesus. Okay. And what next? raspberries?
Come
No?
on.
No? What am I doing? No raspberries. Ice? Okay. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. And I think shake it. Now for that, that's gotta be you. Gotta do the honours. No? Alright. Oh my god. Alright. Are we done?
I think we're done. We've got enough ice.
Alright, mojito time. I think this is going to be lethal. Ooh. That is fine. Alright. Alright. Thank you so much for joining us and for putting up with all of our nonsense. So, first question. We know that the Tories are raring for a general election. Boris Johnson seems pretty confident. Oh, here we go. So, now that I have a glass full of rum, I feel like I'm ready to talk about Boris Johnson. What is your plan for defeating both him and edgy podcast dad Dominic Cummings?
I think we think that the more people see of Boris Johnson, the more they will realise how awful he is.
So give him enough rope.
I think it's give him enough rope, and I think if you remember, in the leadership campaign, his team kept him off the media. They kept him off the media because they knew that if he was on the media too much, he would crash and burn.
But he thought that he'd go to the north, to the Midlands, these leave voting heartlands, and would be received with rapturous applause and adulation because he was promising a no deal. It didn't really happen.
It didn't happen. People asked him what was he doing in their town. No, I mean, I think the Tories had this idea that he was a great mayor of London and he had a lot of charm.
Oh, I think we need to speak up a bit. Right.
I think that the Tories had this idea that Boris Johnson was a great mayor of London and he had a lot of charm. Actually, Boris Johnson was a rotten mayor of London. And he has absolutely no charm.
I think the current Tory administration potentially presents like a particular challenge to someone who is a left-winger who's going to be Home Secretary, and that's because they're going super authoritarian on law and order. So your opposite number, Priti Patel, has said that she wants criminals to feel terror. So I wanted to know how you're going to deal with that. How do you challenge the authoritarianism of that government? But also, I mean, take the public with you, because the reason they're doing this is because Edgy Podcast Dad has looked at the polls and he thinks this is popular. So how do you navigate that?
I think one of the things you have to do is show how bogus their position on law and order is. Since 2010, they've cut 20,000 police officers. We've seen a spike in violent crime. And actually, they have created the conditions for the problems we have, whether it's cuts in policing, cuts in the youth service, cuts in mental health services. What you have to do is show how bogus their position is. They have a lot of responsibility, including the Lib Dems from when they were in coalition, for the current problems with violent crime we have.
I mean, you mentioned putting more police on the streets, but one of the things that I'm most excited about when I see your policy agenda is that for the first time, there will be a genuine anti-racist in charge of the Home Office. And I do think about socialists taking over these state institutions and how those institutions might be transformed. So, in your view, what does an anti-racist Home Office look like? And is it even possible?
And before you answer that, Diane, can I give you this microphone so the people at the back can hear, and you need one as well?
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me at the back?
Please, can you sing I'm Every Woman?
I think it's an interesting point. What does an anti-racist Home Office look like? One of the things is that I worked in the Home Office. And I know how entrenched the Home Office culture is. I mean, people talked about Windrush like it was some kind of blip. The Home Office has an entrenched culture and has had it for decades of behaving as if its main purpose in life is to keep people out of the country. And if they can't keep people out of the country, deport them. It's also very badly organised, and it's also very callous. Why would you stop elderly West Indian grandparents who just didn't happen to have paperwork from decades ago? Why would you stop them getting treatment for cancer? These are very callous people. So I think you have to change the atmosphere right from the top. You have to set different standards. And I think up until now, Home Office officials thought they could build careers on how many people they expelled and excluded. We are going to say to them, if you want to build a career, you need to demonstrate that you can treat people fairly and justly.
So, you look young. One of the things that I always find interesting is asking people I want to know what politicized you. What was the moment that made you think, no, I've got to go?
My mother and father were born in Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaicans in the house. And they both left school at 14. They came to this country as part of the Windrush generation. And why I feel so strongly about the whole Windrush issue, clearly it was an atrocity, clearly people were treated very unfairly. But unless you were the child of that generation, you don't know the struggles they had. Because my parents came to this country in the 50s, where you could legally tell someone you weren't offering them a flat because they were black or they were Irish. You could legally refuse someone a job because they were black. And I don't think people understand the struggles that they had. And so I went to university. Truth to be told, I went to Cambridge University.
That is the most polite woo I've ever heard, ever. That is a Cambridge education woo. Like, you hear the H after the W, it's mad.
Yeah. These Cambridge people get everywhere. But you know what politicised me was coming from a working class West Indian background. My father worked in a factory, my mum was a nurse. Coming from a working class West Indian background, both my parents had left school at 14, and going up to Cambridge and seeing fathomless, unbelievable entitlements, seeing an unbelievable callousness to people that hadn't led their lives. It was the contrast between rich and poor, between the entitled and the unentitled, which made me determined that whatever I did, I was going to try and make this a better society.
Can you hear me at the back without the microphone, or do I need the microphone? It's fine. I need it. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, but slightly further away from my mouth.
That's not the first time you said that, is it?
Ooh, wow. So you told us, you know, your political journey, which is different from anything you've experienced before, and obviously a level of abuse as well. I was wondering what you feel, how you've changed since 2015, since the position that you acquired on the front bench and then ultimately to become Shadow Home Secretary. What have you learned about British politics, or what's changed you?
You know, what began to change me was running for the leadership of the party in 2010. And I ran against the best and the brightest of the New Labour generation, Ed Balls, Andy Burnham, Ed Miliband.
We like Ed Miliband. He's on later.
Please don't scare him off, lads.
Even though I would have voted for Diane if I was a member at that point in time.
So I ran against the best and the brightest, and we went all around the country, did about 52 public meetings as part of that leadership campaign. And I would come on a platform, which wasn't as nice as this. I would come on a platform, and then there would be the guys, David Miliband, Ed Miliband, Andy Burnham, and Ed Balls. And they were all in their suits and ties, respectable-looking white men. And then I would come on the platform, and you can see people thinking, how can she be leader of the Labour Party? And I used to say at those rallies, because I could see what was in people's eyes, I used to say, you know, you're looking at me and thinking, how can I be leader of the Labour Party? And I'm here to tell you that in the 21st century, this is what a leader of the Labour Party looks like. And I've carried on since 2010. You know, there's all these expectations about what senior politicians look like. And it's a great pleasure to me to break those preconceptions and show that we can have a political class, and that includes Jeremy. We can have a political class which looks like the people that it seeks to represent. I think that's important.
So before we let you go, we actually crowdsourced some questions from people. Except they're not really about politics. This round is called Mojitos, Mo Problems, and I'd like to welcome our guest agony aunt to the sofa, Diane Abbott. Okay, so the first one, these are all real, by the way, so the happiness of the left is in your hands. The first question. Dear Auntie Diane, I've met a guy and he seems great. He's good looking, he's charming, he's kind to animals. I don't know why that's in there. But he's not that into politics, and I think that makes me fancy him less. Am I unnecessarily limiting my dating pool? Should I just listen to my mum and settle down with a man who's read less Marx than me, but worships the ground I work on? Or should I wait for the comrade of my dreams? I didn't write that one.
Well, what I would say is you'd be surprised how many members of Parliament are actually not that much into politics. So maybe she should just listen to her heart and go with the man of her dreams.
I think settle. No, I don't. I think follow your heart. Next question, next problem.
Next problem. I need the mic now as well.
There you go.
Okay. Dear Auntie Diane, as someone with a bit of a funny tinge, I'm used to microaggressions, which make me feel like I'm not welcome. But recently, things had been going into overdrive. It seems like a week doesn't go past without someone either in real life or online letting me know how uncomfortable they are with my race. How do I deal with it without needlessly upsetting people who might just not know any better without compromising my integrity?
I mean, those sorts of microaggressions are really very corrosive. And you start to censor yourself in meetings or even in social circumstances. I mean, you do have to take the opportunity when it arises to explain to people that you're not comfortable with some of the things they're saying. Because if people never, I'm not saying you should have a big conflict all the time, but if people never understand that you don't like their racist jokes, that you don't want to hear how much they admire Nigel Farage, if people never hear that, they'll never modify their behaviour. So I think you should politely draw it to people's attention.
Well, Diane, I'm afraid we've got to let you go. Apparently, there's a Labour Party that needs to be run or something. So thank you so much for joining us. Please give it up for the People's Auntie, the next Home Secretary, Diane Abbott.
Give it up for Diane Abbott. Now, we're going to leave you in the very capable hands of the hard left house bands for a few short moments. So get yourself a drink, call your mum. If you're a right-wing journalist and you think we've done something particularly embarrassing, you can tweet it and see how many retweets you get. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll be back for Swipe Left, the Left Zone blind date. We'll be joined by John McDonnell. And there will be a little bit of chaos with Ed Miliband. So, charge your glasses. We'll be back in a few minutes. where Dahlia will be. I'm going to be standing to the side of the sofa. Far side of the sofa. Michael will be standing just by the floor where Dahlia's going to
Oh yeah, we feeling best, mate. We all feeling fresh for the set change. Hey, we ain't got stupid plans. Hey miss, how you doing, ma'am? Yes, you in the striped shirt. I'd like to freestyle, kick a tight verse. Yeah, I'd like to get the people to listen. We got a 3-minute intermission. We straight winging it. Everything we didn't write, it's not deliberate. But I'm just checking that this mic's on. Everybody here, make some noise for Brighton. It's colourful, see? I love the brothership that we feel at TWT. It's all lovely, yes, respect them. We got my brother Tom, and he's playing on the plectrum. Plus my man Nick Jet, you know you gotta respect them. Plus we got Warren, make some noise for Momentum. And all the lefties, that's how we get down, cause we must rock it freshly. Like a nice cup of Tetley's. Don't know what I'm saying, but these freestyles might test me. Cause you know I got the vocal staff. Hello miss, are you taking a photograph? I'm gonna rhyme with tightness. You steal my soul if you take my likeness. I keep on rhyming with the tightness. Yeah, with the preciseness. It's time, kids. I guess it's the end of this rhyme. Quick.
This one is. You good?
Hello and welcome back to the Hard Left Variety Show. Sorry, the Radical Variety Show. We've renamed it. Now, please give a very warm welcome to our Swipe Left contestants. They're just here looking for love. Looking for love and, of course, a Green New Deal. So basically the concept is the exact same as Blind Date, except instead of Cilla Black, you've got myself and Michael Walker taking care of proceedings. We've got the movement's most eligible bachelors, or at least the ones who are free tonight. And it's only going to be a little bit less dignified than Tinder. So please, put your hands together. Be nice, be loving, be affectionate. Meet Simon! Be extra loving, be affectionate for Sam. And right here, last but not least, looking a little nervous, is Ed. That was some cute shit.
Thank you. We tried.
And now it's time to meet this one. Maybe, well, I don't know what I can do about that. Maybe I'll use this one. Now it's time to meet the star of Swipe Left, Dahlia.
So Dahlia, welcome to Swipe Left. I can't see you, but I'm sure you look lovely. Does she look lovely? Oh, that was enthusiastic.
I know I can't see.
Now, each of these boys believes in renationalisation, but they all want to take your heart into private ownership. Did you like that? That's what you get on a TWT budget. So, Dahlia, please tell the audience a bit about what you're here looking for.
Well, I'm here to kind of find a man that, I can take home to my mum, but if my mum knew what was really going on, she'd be a little bit ashamed of me.
So the problem is I can't actually see Michael either, so I'm going to let Michael cue up the questions.
I didn't know I was going to queue up the questions, but I will.
So, get Dahlia started, Michael. That's what you're
Queue
meant
up
to
the
do.
questions.
Start with question 1, and then we'll go down from, is that left or is that right? Stage right down to stage left, answering in a row. I will hand you the microphone, you pass it along. Yeah? Amateur hour, man. All right, Dahlia, first question.
Question 1. Labour is red, Tories are blue. I'm a communist cutie. What the hell are you?
I'm on fucking Novara blind date, so I think that says it all, to be honest.
Well, just like Chikamuna's policies, I can be whatever you want.
Well, Bolsheviks are red, Mensheviks are white. I'm in the vanguard, and I'm a bit of a right.
Oh my goodness. Sam and Ed dropping bars. Simon, a bit of self-revelation, perhaps low self-esteem. All right, Dahlia, question 2.
Question 2. When Theresa May was leader of the Conservative Party, rumour was that Tory MPs would call her mummy. If I was the leader of your political party, what would you call me and why?
I would call you by your name and your preferred pronouns. Because I'm a nice guy and I love respecting women.
They would... you call me Mr. 5-Year Plan because your future involves me.
Just 5 years? My mother would not approve.
I'd call you the proletariat, because you could dictate to me all you want.
So here we've got the woman respecter, the sexy Stalinist, and the going back to basics chirpsing with Marx and Engels. I think I kind of like it. Dahlia, fire away.
Question number 3. My exes say I'm Owen Jones on the streets, but Aaron Bastani in the sheets. What would your exes say about you?
So they would say that I'm like AOC on the streets, because I'm always out there pounding them streets to get, to get a radical Green New Deal with a 2030 zero carbon, net zero carbon, whatever, target by 2030.
Wow, I love dirty talk.
Yeah. And they would call me John Landsman in the sheets because I'm a bit of a naughty boy.
They'd say I put the dick in dictator.
That was the wrong kind of red flag.
Well, it's quite hard to follow that. Unlike Deng Xiaoping, I wouldn't try and reform you. But maybe like John McDonnell as well, and the mace, I'd lift you in my arms and give you a rattle.
I would like to remind the contestants that I'm still Muslim. And
I'm not.
Going. You better pray your grandma's not watching this, Dahlia. So, we've had AOC on the streets, John Landsman between the sheets. We've got Pudding the Dick in Dictator, which I can only assume is short for Richard. And Ed here will pick you up like the parliamentary mace and give you a rattle. But fire away, next question, Dahlia.
Question number 4. Chaka Amuna has been in 3 different parties. And had 3 different positions. In the last 3 years. How many parties and positions do you reckon you could get into through just one night?
So all I need is one party and... Oh, is that yours? Okay, one party and one position. As long as that party is the Labour Party and that position is a Green New Deal with a target of net zero by 2030.
That was good. That was actually mine. Unlike Chaka, I just belong to one party. And if you pick me tonight, I'll show you that same dedication and loyalty.
Guys, this is meant to be a safe space. Do not heckle the bachelors. Apart from Ed, go for it.
Maybe like Tony Blair, I'd be tough on thirst and tough on the causes of thirst.
So we've got the Green New Deal coming up again, which I don't actually think had much to do with the kind of positions Dahlia was talking about. We've got one party, loyalty, dedication from Moist Sam. And we've got Ed, tough on thirst, tough on the causes of thirst. Dahlia, I believe you've got one last question for our eligible bachelors.
My 5th and final question. Are we all destined to die alone?
Aww. Yes, sweet release of death!
No, we're not, you know. We're all going to die together. Unless Labour Party adopts a Green New Deal with a 2030 net zero target.
Sam, that's going to be hard to beat.
It was really safe and boring as well. I was just gonna say, maybe we are destined to die alone. If you pick me tonight, you don't have to. Trying my best.
I'd like to take it back to the basics. Marx said, the philosophers have only interpreted the dust. The point is to bite it. However, to paraphrase Engels, unlike the state, my love will never wither away.
So we've had Simon, who I think has come here with a bit of an agenda. We've got Moist Sam, who I think just needs to be held. And we've got Ed dropping some philosophical heat on you Philistines. But now, Dahlia, it's for a bit of role reversal. Our boys get to ask you one question each. So please, contestant number 1, Simon, you go first.
Jeremy Corbyn says the naughtiest thing he's ever done is far too naughty to even talk about. Fucking hell. What about you? What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done? And do you reckon you're naughtier than a 70-year-old vegetarian who keeps an allotment?
All right, Dahlia, answer away.
You have to earn your right to know what the naughtiest thing I've ever done is. And naughtier than Jeremy Corbyn? I think Jeremy Corbyn's got a pretty naughty side, and I wouldn't be too confident that I would be able to outmatch that, to be honest.
Your turn.
I'm looking to swipe left on a comrade who's got good taste. So let's play Snog, Marry, Deselect. Tory edition. Snog, Marry, Deselect. Your options are Boris Johnson, Jacob Rees-Mogg, hello?
Yep.
Mark Francois?
Mark Francois.
Mark Francois.
May as well be Mark Francois, who knows? Mark Francois. So you've got it, Snog, Marry, Deselect, Boris Johnson, Jacob Rees-Mogg, or Mark Francois. Dahlia?
Okay, first of all, you never knowingly fuck a Tory. That is scabbing, and in this room, we do not tolerate scabbing. Marry. I would marry Jacob Rees-Mogg. Hear me out.
Oh.
Hear me out. He is probably the wealthiest, and I would have that kid just to snatch that wealth right out of his pocket and redistribute it ASAP. And I would kill. Actually,
No,
there are journalists in this room. Deselect. I would deselect Boris Johnson, which is what we're all going to do in the next election when we fucking smash it. Woo!
Yep. Oh, wait, who are you snogging?
I don't snog Tories. Never.
She's never knowingly snogged a Tory, but what she's done unknowingly. We can only speculate. Third and final question belongs to you, Ed. Go for it.
Chief whips in Parliament use all sorts of dastardly tricks and techers to keep rogue MPs in line. What would be your secret weapon if you had to whip me into shape?
One look.
My God, she's serious. I can't even see her. And already I'm starting to think that I should date her. I don't know why you're cheering, I'm very emotionally repressed. But now it's time for our lovely lefty lady to swipe left on 2 contestants who will then compete in a head-to-head to win a date in the finest budget restaurant that Brighton can offer. The poor soul who gets swiped right on then has to leave the stage. So who will she pick? Will it be contestant number 1, Simon? He might get the Green New Deal, but he might not seal the deal with our lovely lady. Or will it be contestant number 2, Moist Sam, who's got a face like a wounded puppy and the body of a god. Or will it be contestant number 3? Ed, who came here looking nervous and now sits before us looking terrified. But I'm sure will perk right up if you swipe left on him. So who will you be swiping left on? Pick your first contestant who you want to keep. Simon, Sam, or Ed. Who's staying?
Well,
This is when it gets harsh. Because it's actually harsher when you can't see their face, because you're just saying you've got a terrible personality. You know, you can't help the face you're born with, but you have your whole life to get a better personality. And you didn't. Sorry for whoever gets kicked off. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sure you're great for someone. Dahlia, pick who's going to stay. Simon, Ed, or Sam?
so I'm trying to make better choices in my romantic life. So the first man that I would like to keep is the man who offered...
That means Simon, Ed, both of you have a 50% chance of going home early. On the plus side, it means you can get a can of beer from backstage. Sit the fuck down, the boiling planet. So Dahlia, who else are you going to keep? Will it be Ed or will it be Simon?
chocolates. So I'm going to have to pick Simon.
That's how powerful this message is. Even Ed is clapping against himself. Ed, I'm so sorry, but your time here on Left Island is up. Get the fuck off my sofa. Right, if you can, go around, show Dahlia what she's missing. Oh. I can't see her face. Does she look like she regrets it? Not at all. Oh my God, that's even harsher. Oh my God. Dahlia, you're cold. Michael, are you going to introduce our final section of Swipe Left?
I am. I was waiting for a visual cue, but there's a huge moon in the way. Which is really making this section difficult, I have to say. You know, I know you want to choose... I've got a sneaky suspicion, actually. I know you're very into the Green New Deal and that kind of thing, but ultimately we're Democrats, we're socialists, and you don't get to decide who you go on a date with tonight. That goes to the people. Hey? So, this game is called Swipe Left. You have to swipe right.
So you swipe right.
Or swipe left.
Or swipe left.
I don't know where they're sitting. I can't see. You're going to have to do this.
Okay, you swipe right for Moist Sam. You swipe left for Green Simon. Now, hands in the air and swipe like your life depends on it. Ooh. Ooh. That is an overwhelming majority for a Green New Deal pledging to decarbonise by 2030. So, Simon, it's time for you to meet the love of your life, or at least for the next 5 minutes. Go behind the screen and say hello to Dahlia. So Sam, you've not got anything else to do tonight? But I happen to know that he's single and has nothing better to do. And you all know what he looks like. It's going to be a lion's den out there.
He's the only person on our Love Island with abs, I have to say, so if you are looking.
I mean, look, that's the kind of stuff that gets you all teary-eyed. What do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon our lovely couple, Simon and Dahlia, are going to make it?
think it worked. I feel like they had a lot in common. I
just personally think that men are very, very two-faced these days. They are. They're liars. They're all liars.
They tell you they're for They tell you they're for a Green New Deal, and next they're flying away to see their girlfriend, their two-time one. Oh my God! Okay.
Speaking of two-faced liars, it's Boris Johnson himself. And he's got not just two faces, but many faces on him.
So this is our first competition of the night. The one, the only Boris Johnson, I mean not the one, the only, I mean the asshole Boris Johnson is here. We managed to book him, it was difficult. And he's got a lot of faces on his jacket. What you've got to do to win a prize is guess quite how many faces Boris Johnson is wearing today.
Alright, guesses. How many faces does Boris Johnson have? You will win some merch. Anyone from the back? Anyone from the back? No. Is one? No. Anyone at the back? Anyone at the back for an answer? Oh. I think you have it. I think you might have it. Did you say 102? It's 102! So please find a TWT volunteer, collect your merch. Glory is yours. Now, Boris, I don't like it. Please leave. No. Okay, you guys all know the drill by now. The Hard Left House Band will tide you over for a few minutes while we change the set. So charge your glasses. Get busy. No, not busy. Don't get busy. Stay here. Charge your glasses. Chill out. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with the one, the only, the People's Chancellor, John McDonnell. No, it was fine. So I just kept parallel on. I kept parallel on. I hope that was okay.
10 minutes to film. Are we still here, people? Still paying attention? Beautiful. Hold up. We've got no time like the present to do a little bit of a freestyle. We might do one of those at the end to wrap everything up, but I think now's as good a time as any to drop one. So yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna get 5 words from the audience, just to ice break, and we're gonna make a whole new song up about it, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, it's me, I got the microphone. It's time to enter the rhyming zone. Guys from front to the back, I wanna get some words, and nobody please be whack. Like I said, this mic is on. One more time, everyone make some noise for Brighton. We're gonna rock the place. Now please break the music down just to bass. All right, any words, any suggestions? You took the words right out of my mouth. And there's a suitable amount of syllables in socialism. Socialism. All right, check it. Any other words? Don't be greedy, guys. Your corner's had one already. Someone in the middle, was that? Great. What's this thing? I've not heard about it. All right, let's do this. Green New Deal. You can turn my mic down a tad. That's actually 3 words. But we're gonna work with it. Can I get another couple of words that we can use as the basis? Yeah, I feel like you're hogging the volunteer. The boyfriend's like, thank you, darling. You've had socialism. Corbyn, anyone else got anything better than that? A better Green New Deal. Is that hyphenated? It just feels like there's a message I'm picking up from you guys. Anything that's not the Green New Deal or socialism. Voting. Provoking. Oh, provoking or proroguing, I like that. I'm with that, fam, I'm with that. Who was talking about prorogation like a year? No one was, right? I feel like at least Boris has helped educate us in arcane constitutional law. It's beautiful. What, someone else got something out there? What? Makeup. Okay. We got makeup and chips. Chips! All right, I've got a personal bugbear about chips in this area, so I hope you got a lot of time for me to rap. This is gonna be fun. Yeah! I say when I say the world, you say transformed. The world. Oh, I'm just gonna check. If this microphone is on, it goes the world. Hey, we're gonna turn it just like the turntables. I'm gonna just adjust and pull out some mic cable. And like I do it just to the audience, it's warm, it goes the world. I like the way this all got in movement. But people in the crowd, there's a few of you snoozing. What can I do? Yo, I got a heart, control the rhythm. I'm on the microphone provoking it for socialism. Oh, promoting localism. Cause you know that I was on and yes, I wrote the rhythm. That's what I do, yeah, I do produce spiel. And what the world needs is a green new. It's true that, I hope they all can listen. We need to zero out the carbon emissions. It's true, yeah, you know how we gon' rip this on the track. Freestyle, we kill it, no statistics. Woo! And that's the way I close the argument. Shut down MCs like I was proroguing Parliament. That's the way we had to wing it though. I'm on the mic, I eat it up like a profiterole. And you know, I just won't wake up. Tomorrow morning, I might need a layer of makeup. Yo, because we too scarred. I'm at the TWT, I'm partying too hard. Woo! Because you know it's kind of ridiculous. I'm on the microphone connecting it like stickle bricks. I'm gonna keep it rapping just like Christmas is. And I'd also like to say something's ridiculous. What in particular is ridiculous? I'll tell you, over £6 for bloody fish and chips. It offends me. I'll be on the microphone, yo, plenty. Oh, because you know that I'm rocking nice and I want fish and chips, and yes, I want to socialize them. Get this flow next. I'll be on the microphone, yes, I flow fresh. Woo. Yeah, they ain't messing with me. Like I said, one more time, we here at CWT. So, when this microphone's on, we're at the world. I wanna see if you wake and the audience respond at the world. Whoa, and yo, I'm just checking this microphone's on. It's the world, it's the world, it's the world, yeah, the world. Yeah. Please make some noise for these incredible hard left band. You know we coming raw on the guitar. Make some noise for Tom Ford. Wow, just giving you a minute taste. Also make some noise for Nick Jerd on the bass. Whether you big, small, older, you young, I like you know the rhythm. Make some noise for Warren on the drums. Well, did I kill it? Did I come back with some lyrics? I don't know. Did I fill it? Have I filled 10 minutes? I don't know, I don't think so. I haven't quite finished, but I don't know what to say. I think I've run out of lyrics. Oh, I'm just gonna keep it real clear, bro. Excuse me, I'm talking to my friend Nero. How long have we got left? Ages, lots of breath. So, we're gonna rap, son, like Malcolm. And later on, you can buy my whole album. We're getting pretty raw. It feels like TWT and my promotion tour. But anyway, we're gonna clear the runway and have so much fun on a Sunday. Because you know we're gonna rip the bars. I'm gonna leave a little space for solo on guitar. waiting for Michael Walker to come with a boater and a cane and dance us off the stage. How long we got, bro? No, it's a dud mic.
It doesn't matter anyway. No, it doesn't matter. All I'm here to say is that John McDonnell's a little bit late.
Oh.
Don't want to play the blame game, but you might have to wait out here a little bit longer. We might be changing up the set to change the order of things.
Not John McDonnell.
But we'll be back.
Oh. She just said chaos music. Why? For Ed?
Downing Street. This is as close as I'm ever going to get to the halls of power.
I wonder. Oh, it does. I doubt that, to be honest.
Do you
I
think?
think you could be in there one day, Ash.
You know what? I'd go for Mayor of London simply to declare Croydon a part of France.
What?
Yeah, I said fuck you, Croydon. So we've had a wonderful chat with Diane Abbott. We had a spicy game of swipe left. But now it's time to let a touch of chaos take over the proceedings. Back in 2015, David Cameron tweeted that Britain faces a simple and inescapable choice. Stability and strong government with me, or chaos with Ed Miliband. And in these dark days of politics, some of us have found ourselves longing for what could have been. So please help us welcome to the stage, Ed Miliband!
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleased to be here with you. I never thought I'd be standing with you tonight. So you didn't get to experience Chaos with Ed Miliband after 2015. So, bit louder, please, bit louder. Thank you very much. So you're going to experience it tonight with a unique and unprecedented and never to be repeated, I hope, game show. So I need 2 volunteers from the audience. Can we have some lights? Ash is going to help me here. Red hat. Okay. Do you choose? I think you should. The lady with the red stripe? Yes? Yeah, the lady with the red stripe. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, your team captains for tonight, can you welcome your team captains? They are Eleanor Penny from Novara Media and Owen Jones. Are you, while we get the volunteers, are you excited about this challenge?
Why am I here and why have I agreed to this? Eleanor.
Come on.
I have no idea what's going on. No one's told me. They've refused. It's been a wall of silence. We're essentially held hostage here.
We are. Blackmailed.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. Now, where have we got our volunteers, Ash? We need our volunteers. What's your name?
Jess, nice to meet
Jess.
you, Ed.
Jess.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jess. Nice to meet you.
And what's your name?
My name is Wanye.
Say hello to Wanye, everyone. Right, I think Jess, you're going to go with Owen. Wanye, you're going to go with Eleanor. I think you need to go over there. These are the teams. It's going well so far, Ash, isn't it? No disasters yet.
Hopefully that all can
right,
change.
now you need to listen, guys. Yeah. Wanye and Eleanor, Owen and Jess. I think I should have been a game show host. Right. The first round is called Ed's Balls. Right. The challenge is as follows. Behave. Right. The challenge is to get the most balls into the Ed basket in 60 seconds. There's only one catch. You can use any body part to transport the ball to the basket apart from your hands. So picking up between your knees, the power of breath, anything apart from your hands. It's one team at a time. Isn't that right, Ash?
Yeah, one team at a time and the balls are...
The balls are there. Is there a timer, Ash?
There will be a timer.
There will be a timer.
From the audience. So if we could get someone with a stopwatch of 60 seconds calling out.
Calling out what?
30 seconds go 30, 29, blah, blah, blah.
Anyone with a timer in the front row?
Timer in the front row.
What's his name? Barney. Okay. Barney is your timer. Eleanor and Wanye are going to go first. Yep. I think we need to sort of give them some space. Hang on. In the event of injury, do I not need a disclaimer, Ash? In the event of injury, Novara take no responsibility for what happens. Barney, can we have a light on Barney? Maybe not. Barney's got a light on Barney. Right, we're going to give them a countdown. Have you got your tactics, Eleanor and Wanye? Do you know what you're up to? Where's the basket? That's a good question. The basket's here. I better get out of the way. Okay. The basket is here. Yeah, you've got, you're going to have 60 seconds. We're going to count you in. 3, 2, 1, go. Pretty good. God. Right, Barney, you might need to... I think that's out of balls. Barney, stop the clock.
Ooh.
How long, Barney? 31 seconds. Let's hear it. Wow.
Okay, right.
Oh, God.
So now it's time
for
Owen's team to have
that is a hard act to follow, Owen and Jess. How are you feeling?
I'm a mal-coordinated gay man. This is not a task, it's a hate crime.
Yeah. Honestly, the next round will be really good. I promise you, do well in the next round. Right, Jess, you're going to have to carry him a little bit here. Okay. Ash, how are we doing?
I broke Ed balls.
You're right, I'm sorry, that's not good. Okay. I think maybe lean it behind, maybe? Just lean it behind, I think. Right. I think that, otherwise it's going to make it very difficult for them. Really.
I don't think that he deserved that.
Okay. So, ready? Yeah. Audience, ready? Okay. We're going to... Barney, ready? Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my God.
One at a time. Why didn't I think of that? She's a fucking... That was hands. That was clear hands. Ref. I'm sorry, there's some cheating going on here. Those are hands. Those are hands.
Barney, stop the... Oh, no.
Nutmeg.
One ball left. Barney, stop the clock. Well done. How long, Barney?
It's not over. It's not over. Apparently, there's a ball.
Let's keep the clock going.
No hands. No hands. No hands.
Barney, stop the clock. I mean, you did really well. How long, Barney? 46 seconds. I think they did really well. Big round of applause, though. Right, Ash, I forgot to ask you this. What's the scoring system?
I have no idea.
Okay, so
but what I would say is that I'm pretty sure
So
that
they get
in first place, after one round of Chaos with Ed Miliband, is Team Novara featuring Eleanor Penny.
Okay, right, round two, yes? Okay, round two. There are 3 rounds actually.
This
right.
guy has no idea what he signed himself up for. No.
No, you've got another round. Yeah, this is...
It's going to be a long night.
Sorry about that. You're getting into this now, aren't you, Owen
Signing away
Jones?
your kidneys,
You're sort of... The competitive spirit is
Addict.
alive and well.
I'm addicted to Chaos with Ed Miliband.
Right, okay. Round 2, absolute scenes. Right. Now, round 2 is basically charades with a political twist. Each person will get a card with a notorious event in recent political history, and will have to act it out without words for their teammates to guess, and for the audience to ridicule. The audience will be able to see what's being mimed on the screen. That's good. So you have to make like ooh, ah noises when it comes up on the screen. That's to the left of the stage, and we'll have all sorts of helpful advice. So you can shout out advice for the players, correct? Right. So how does this go? Now, we should let Owen and Jess start.
So we need whoever's got scene 1.
There are 6 scenes, correct, Ash?
6 scenes.
So, but hang on a minute. They do one, and then
then the
Eleanor
other
and
team
Wanye
do
do another one, etc.
Yep.
Okay, and then we have some kind of score.
Oh, wait,
I think
hang
Barney,
on.
we need you,
Wait, is
Barney.
that scene 2?
Uh,
Actually, it's one team at a time. So we've got scene 1, scene 2, then whoever's got scene 3 on the card, then they go next, then scene 4, and then scene 5, then 6. Sorry, it's a complicated
okay,
system.
Barney, you're going to have to add up the total time that it'll take for them to each do 3, and then you're going to have to give us a winner, yeah? That's within your competence, yeah? Okay.
I mean,
that is within Barney's
called
competence.
Chaos with Ed Miliband for a reason.
Yeah. Right. Thank God for Barney, that's all I can say.
No, it's like sure. Okay, all right. I don't think so.
All right, scene 1 is scene 1 up on the screen. Do you know what it is? No? Yes. Gary,
Okay.
my man, up with the laptop.
Okay,
in the back
hang
shot.
on. So if you got scene 1, yep, okay. Barney, I know you're drinking your red stripe, but right. Okay, I'm going to get on a count of 3.
Okay, I'm too keen. I'm
You
sorry.
have to guess. So you hold on to the microphone and
Jess, you don't know what scene 1 is, do you?
No.
No, right, okay. Just checking. Okay, Barney, Owen, you ready for your acting? I think you need to come more sort of center stage here. Yep, Jess.
Everybody help me.
Jess, why don't you go there, just so everyone can see and laugh at Owen? Right. Okay, Barney, 3. This is a safe environment. Barney, there's no such thing as bad acting, Owen. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
That's definitely Tory. Fancy something. Help everybody! Come on. A mace? A mace? Parliamentary mace? What about the parliamentary mace? Shaking the parliamentary mace. Somebody give me some more. Sorry? Lloyd?
Yeah,
Lloyd,
okay.
Lloyd?
Yeah, there is!
Thank you for your help.
Jess was obviously doing something else that day. Lloyd Russell Moyle through the parliamentary mace, malarkey. Right. Okay. Okay, Eleanor and Wanye. What?
So it's scene 2, which means that Jess has it.
Oh, right, scene 2. Okay.
Can I use a prop?
You can, yeah, I think. A person, okay. Any particular person?
No, you need that to guess.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point of the game.
Okay, you want a person. Is this a person you know or just a random person? Yeah, no, hang on. Barney. Are you starting, Barney? Yeah, start. I don't know, sorry. I thought you were waiting for a person. Okay, this is chaos. Right. Okay, Barney, go.
What, Boris Johnson!
Boris Johnson what?
He's doing something. He's throwing... Oh, he's playing rugby with a child.
Yes, correct.
A 10-year-old child. He's 10.
Very
I remember.
good.
I know what's going on. And that is why I'm a columnist.
Okay. I mean, now, who's got 3? Okay, for Barney, right. Motivation. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
When my man.
In like 5 seconds, this man is a
That was
machine.
respect. Right. Who's next? Scene 4.
Okay.
Yeah, scene 4. You're scene 4. Right. Okay. Right. Scene 4. Eleanor, you ready?
Absolutely not, but carry on anyway.
Okay. Barney. 3, 2, 1, go.
Coughing. Oh, when
Theresa May couldn't get through her speech at party conference.
Yeah. Okay, I mean they are pretty amazing. Right. Okay. I mean you're amazing too, Owen. Is this scene 5? Right. This is scene 5. Barney. Yep. 3. Wait. Hold your horses. I know you're competitive. 3, 2, 1, go.
Jeremy Corbyn. Sitting down for train. Commuting. Jeremy Corbyn commuting. Sitting down on the train. Jeremy Corbyn commuting. Sitting down on the train. Yay!
I mean, they are getting very good at this. Big cheer for Owen and Jess. Right. Okay, last scene. I know you're desperate for this to carry on for longer, but I am definitely. Right. Okay. This is what it would have been like. Okay. I always wondered what it would have been like, and now I know. Right. Okay. How are we doing, Eleanor? You ready?
I'm ready.
Quietly confident. Okay. Barney?
Come on.
Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Theresa May does in Africa. Hey, boom. Come on. Yeah.
This is like that moment at Glastonbury when a star is born, Wanye. The talent scouts in the audience are going to be trying to sign you up, you and Jess.
Oh.
Right, we've got one more. Barney, what's the sort of total for each team? Owen and Jess on 1 minute 18. Big round of applause for them. Eleanor and Wanye on 33 seconds.
There's actually an opportunity for Owen and Jess to make up some points.
This is like the sort of trumps everything round. No, not necessarily.
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
The first
winner
one
take
to
all.
get the next
We're not in favour of
seat.
winner take all. I don't think at Novara Media, are we though? Everyone's going to win, I hope.
Are you
yes?
a communist, Ed?
No, not as much as you, Ash. Right.
That wasn't a no.
Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay, we've got one last opportunity for the two teams to make up some points. They've got to guess the next scene. And then
Okay, you need a mic.
Where am I going?
bonus round scene.
Hey, where am I going?
Bill shaking.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Nigel Farage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think Eleanor and Wanye got there, didn't they?
My own personal sense of inadequacy has never been so high. This is...
I think we should give an absolutely massive round of applause to Owen and Jess and Eleanor and Wanye.
My hero, Jess.
All right, we've got to say goodbye.
Obviously, before I go, big shout out to Steve Watson from Cambridge. Everyone make some noise up in this place, fam, for my guy. Love.
Ed,
Man.
thank you
So that's what it would have been like.
to be a game show. But I actually think that on other game
I meant
shows...
to be Prime Minister, actually, no. To be a game show host. Yeah. I
mean,
should have been a game show host, clearly.
I think you should have been.
Yeah.
You've got the knack for it.
Thank you very much. I think, is that a backhanded compliment or not exactly?
No, it's a real compliment.
I think, Ed, you were a good game show host, but don't quit the day job, you know?
Okay, thank you. I won't, I promise you.
And because you were so good, I mean, you were a great host
Yeah.
at short notice. We're doing a political interview, normal style, but I mean, do you want a beer?
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I feel like you need to lighten up a little bit now that we're going to talk about politics.
I mean, I never have trouble with food and drink, so this will go well.
All right.
We got easy open.
Yeah. Right.
So, can I fire off the
Yeah,
first question?
yeah.
You are a leading advocate for the idea of a Green New Deal.
Yep.
And there tends to be two ways of thinking about tackling climate change. The first is small scale, degrowth, fly less, use less, consume less. And then the other is sort of about endless abundance, that kind of fully automated luxury communism idea, to coin a phrase. Available from all quality bookstores now. Between those two things of primitivism and fully automated luxury communism, where do you sit?
I mean, I'm definitely not for the primitivism. Look, the way I think about it is like this, which is what I've been dealing with trying to deal with climate change since I was climate change secretary in 2008, 2010. What has been one of the things that has kept a lid on public support for climate change? It's the sense that it's a middle-class luxury. It's not directly connected to the economic and social justice concerns of working people. And I represent a constituency in Doncaster where, yes, some people care about climate change, but thank you very much.
That's Doncaster in the house.
But most people are worried about everyday issues like their wages, the jobs their kids are going to do, air quality, but things that feel quite a long way away from that. And I think the sort of genius of the Green New Deal is to link economic and social justice and climate justice. And that is what we have to do. And I think, look, there is one thing very, very important. I know there's all that compositing and all that stuff that's going on around this, but I think the people who are behind Labour for a Green New Deal have done an amazing job of putting it on the agenda. And you know, whatever the sort of final resolution that goes through party conference, we collectively have a massive job on our hands to make this an election issue. You know, I think there's two ways this could go. This could become, because of the climate strikers, and by the way, that absolute moron, Gavin Williamson, said the kids were bunking off. I mean, this is a government that has sort of bunked off for 5 weeks by closing down Parliament. But I think there's sort of two ways this can go. This can either go to becoming an election issue, or I'm afraid it could be like guns in the US, which is you have a good movement that is doing stuff on it, but it never feels like it breaks through into being an election issue. And so, look, part of our collective task, and that's why I think Labour for a Green New Deal have done such an outstanding job, is making this directly, and John McDonnell is I think he will be the first Green Chancellor we've ever had, because he genuinely is, but we've got to make this, you know, sort of trust me on this, we've got to make it an economic and social justice issue. And the last thing I'd say is only we can do it. Only the Labour Party can do it. I mean, the Green movement is incredibly important, it's played a massively important role, but they are starting from an environmental place, not an environmental place and an economic and social justice place.
I mean, that's not the last thing you're going to say on the Green New Deal, because we've got some more questions on it for you.
Yeah.
So one of the things, so there is a compositing meeting going on now with delegates, people from the shadow cabinet and various people involved in the Labour Party, the trade unions, and they're discussing exactly what demands are going to go into, fundamentally, the Labour Party manifesto.
What happens is Becky Long-Bailey locks 50 people in a room and they never see daylight again.
It's more than 50 people, because it was 128 CLPs, so that's going to be a big goddamn room. But I wanted to know what you thought about the specific demands of the Labour for a Green New Deal. So how passionate are you about 2030? Do you think it could be 2040? Where do you stand on what we have to be aiming for?
I mean, look, you know, this is going to sound like a politician's answer, but I promise you it isn't. You're
still a politician. You're not quite a game show host yet.
Which is, I think this is a wider point about the Labour Party. We mustn't succumb to the narcissism of small differences on this. I mean, there is a big difference between 2030 and 2050, don't get me wrong, and we should do it as soon as we possibly can. And I think Labour for a Green New Deal pushing as hard as they can on this are absolutely right. And I think one thing that they've done, whatever the composite says, is that 2050 used to be the radical position, and now it's seen as the conservative small c position. I mean, that is shifting what they call the Overton window, where, you know, where is the bounds of the acceptable? So, but look, in the end, whether it's 2040 or 2030 or 2050, we've got to have, in the next 10 years, and the first 5 years of a Labour government, an absolutely wartime mobilisation, and everybody agrees about that. And so, you know, I promise you, I'm not sort of, but I sometimes think, you know, Labour's great. I know it's going to sound a strange thing to say, but one of Labour's best kept secrets is that on domestic policy, we are incredibly united. There is a desire for radicalism across the Labour Party, across people who would be considered on the so-called right of the Labour Party. So let's not pick fights. I mean, it's good to have the compositing and all that and push as hard as you can, but we are the only party who can deliver on this, and we've got to deliver over the next 10 years, whatever the thing says in the conference resolution.
I mean, I'm quite convinced by that. We've got one last question before we let you go, before we release you back into the wild.
Yeah. The wild? Right, okay, yeah.
Back
the
into
wild of conference.
To take the chaos with you on the way out. You were Britain's first ever climate change secretary.
Yeah.
And in that role, you must have come across significant stumbling blocks, obstacles, issues. What is your advice for the green movement that's operating within the Labour Party right now?
That's a really good question. Look, keep pushing as hard as you can, number one. I think that's incredibly important. Look, John McDonnell was saying this at a meeting I was at with him earlier on. We wouldn't be where we are if it hadn't been for the combination of Extinction Rebellion and the climate strikers. I mean, that has genuinely produced a transformation. And I do sort of think that the Tory reaction to this is very interesting, because Tory ministers, they were sort of saying that kids shouldn't have been out of school on Friday, but generally they've been quite cautious about condemning Extinction Rebellion because they know it's where some of the mood of public opinion is going. So, look, firstly, keep protesting, keep striking, keep marching, keep the pressure on, first point. Secondly, this has got to be a working class issue, not just a middle class issue. And you know, we will have succeeded, and our allies in the trade unions are incredibly important on this. You know, I was at a thing with Paul Novak earlier, and he wants us to move forward as fast as we can, but he's also worried about his workers in the oil and gas sector and elsewhere. He's not wrong to be worried about them. You know, that is what the just transition is about. So that's the second thing. And look, the third thing is we've got to have a Labour government. Because if we don't have a Labour government, you know, I don't want to be sort of gloomy because I have a podcast called Reasons to be Cheerful.
That is a shameless plug on a Novara platform.
But you know, whichever government is in power, if they have a majority and go on for 5 years after the next election, that will be half the time that the IPCC have told us that we've got to sort out this problem. And lastly this, which is, don't believe those people who tell you it doesn't matter what the UK does. It absolutely matters what the UK does. If we show leadership in relation to Europe, in relation to all other countries, it gives us moral authority in these negotiations. And next year, we have a crucial set of negotiations. We've got to have a Labour government overseeing those negotiations, not a Tory government. Thank you very much.
Ed, you've been a wonderful sport, and more than that, you've taught us a thing or two. Thank you so much for joining us.
And come to my quiz on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Can we get a big round of applause for Ed Miliband?
One last time for the chaotic Ed Miliband. And so, before we have our final segment, which is Inside Number 10 with John McDonnell. Oh, come on, a bit more noise for John McDonnell. That's more like it, dingbats. Charge your glasses, get a drink. It's the weekend. You've got nothing to do tomorrow. I mean, some of you have got to get up early and be delegates and whatnot. But regardless, you can do that with a hangover. So go to the bar. We'll be back in a few minutes with John McDonnell himself. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Radical Variety Show.
Make some noise, please.
Are you having a good evening? Did you enjoy Chaos with Ed Miliband? Do you wish you campaigned a bit harder in 2015? As you're probably aware, this is probably going to be the last TWT before a general election sweeps Labour into government. And who better to talk about the challenges we will face when we get there, what the plan is when we get there, than John McDonnell, the People's Chancellor, the man with the 5-year plan. Welcome, John McDonnell MP.
How you doing, mate?
Very good, very good. Terrific, in fact.
You look slightly bemused.
Not at all.
Like, that's the face of a man who's going, yep, when I get into power, this is going to be banned, my friends.
No, you'll be re-educated.
Listen, John, many have tried to educate me and all have failed. So, question number 1. This is just a little chit-chat. No punishments for wrong answers, apart from the trapdoor that we've got under where you're sitting. In 2017, you faced a chancellor that was still defending austerity explicitly, and now you've got a Tory leadership who, at least superficially, is offering cash for education, the NHS, police, the army. Does that undermine Labour's central election message?
There's one person at the back that who's convinced it doesn't. Look, what the Tories have done, it's classic Linton Crosby. Linton Crosby is the Tory campaign organiser, and it's classic Linton Crosby politics. Is that what they do is they look, it's simply opinion poll politics. You look at the opinion polls, you look at the issues that are on the top of those, and you look at them at the moment, it's Brexit, then after that it's health, education, crime and policing. And you simply think, as a Tory, how little can we spend to neutralise those issues? And it's as cynical as this, because we know that Tories are lying So what they'll do is they'll pretend that austerity is over, they'll throw as little money as they possibly can to neutralise those issues, and then when they get back into power, it will be game over, and they'll be back to their old tricks of privatisation, cuts, and basically attacking the most vulnerable in society who they think can't fight back. But what we've shown them in recent years is that we can fight back and we'll defeat them.
So we're sitting here in number 10 Downing Street, which has been rebuilt just in time for your arrival. If everything goes to plan, you'll be sitting in here with Jeremy Corbyn come December. It will be a challenge to get there, but I've been watching at the moment, and this is true, I watched it just a couple of weeks ago, A Very British Coup. It's available on 4OD. And in that TV well, it's not a documentary, in that TV film, they show what happens.
It's called fiction, Michael.
Yeah, I sometimes confuse the two. They show that when a left-wing, a Marxist, anti-imperialist prime minister and government get into power, then there are some parts of the establishment that aren't too pleased about it, and they might play dirty tricks. So in that particular film, you have the leader of the MI5, people in the BBC, people in the civil service, who are all really trying to undermine your ability to implement what you want to do. I don't know, when you imagine yourself in number 10 and number 11, how worried are you about that kind of thing?
See, it's a great book, it's a great film, TV series and all the rest of it. And it is fiction, but you have to recognise that we've already got the forces of the establishment against us already.
We need you close to the mic.
We've got... need you close to the mic. Look, MI5 are recording this anyway, so... so pick up the tape. What I said was, look, of course you'll recognise that the establishment will do everything they possibly can to prevent us winning an election and maintaining ourselves in office. We know that. And by the establishment, the most effective thing that they think they can use at the moment to undermine our ability to get into government is the full weight, the whole kitchen sink of the media, the Tory press, the gutter press thrown at us. And what's interesting is no matter what they throw at us, people just cut through it. They no longer believe it anymore. And because we're now a mass social movement of literally hundreds of thousands of people talking to one another, communicating via social media and all the other mechanisms that we've now got, the media itself has almost become irrelevant. So that tool that the establishment has is becoming increasingly now ineffective. And so what we're finding is that for everything they throw against us, because we have a mass movement full of extremely creative people, we can use the power of the people to overcome whatever they try on. So we'll defeat them.
You've also got Novara Media.
Yes. Well, Novara.
As far as we know, we haven't been infiltrated.
Novara is a good example. You know, when they're talking crap about us, actually, what Novara has done is cut through it at times. You know, and I pay tribute to that. I pay tribute to that, and it's interesting, isn't it? Every time there's a new social media form or a new group that's communicating out there, as soon as they challenge the establishment in any form, they become targets as well. And I tell you what's been the most exhilarating thing over the last 3 or 4 years, the scale of solidarity, where one group is attacked and then we all come in support in solidarity, where we defend each other. And that's what they cannot cope with, the scale of social solidarity on such a mass scale of a social movement.
I've always really loved that slogan, an injury to one is an injury to all, and that sense of emotional investment in the collective. But you once had a bit of a hard image. You were seen as the bad boy of the Labour left. I mean, that's true.
What do you mean once?
But, you know, the FT is taking you out for lunch. You're seen as a conciliatory figure. You're having tea and biscuits with the same people who you're going to tax. Have you made any surprising friends in this process of being Shadow Chancellor? Or any frenemies, even?
The key thing for me was to make sure they knew what was coming. And certainly not in any aggressive way. But what they call the tea offensive is because I don't accept being invited out to lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So when the FT said, well, we do this thing where we do take you out to lunch, it's our special thing, and we interview you, I took them around to our local Indian sweet shop where we had a thali. And they publish the menu when they do take you out. And they published the menu of our local Indian sweet shop, which is fantastic. And they published the cost. It was £19 for 3 of us. And
this audience is a big fan of cheap thalis.
And the journalist was really disappointed. He says, look, this is the only time I get a slap-up lunch usually.
So we actually have a bit of a surprise for you.
Why am I not surprised?
I think it's a pleasant surprise. So if our wonderful, helpful stagehands could set it up. We were trying to think of games which could be appropriate for the Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer. We thought that Wheel of Fortune would be suitable for obvious reasons, but that's just not quite Marxist enough. It's not going to put the fear of God into the right-wing press, is what I'm saying. So please, may I introduce to you the Wheel of Public Ownership.
So, how this works, and you're allowed to take this home with you because we do think this should be installed in the real number 10 because it's good to take people by surprise, and the best way to take the establishment by surprise is to not know exactly what you're doing yourself. So, it's going to be complete chance. We're going to spin this wheel. We're going to land on these different categories, and you are going to tell us whether or not you would nationalise it. That's one question. If not, why? If so, how? And 2, would you make it free? So would this be integrated into a kind of universal basic services? So,
do you want to give it a spin?
Can I just say this? On every year I do this, On the next 2 days, I get coverage in the Mail, the Sun, the Telegraph. Why do I feel this is going to be no different?
All right, John, give it a spin. Your first go on the wheel of public ownership. Woo! Ooh. Ooh.
You did that on purpose. He did that on purpose.
I saw him
This is
stop it with
policy
his
making on the
hand.
hoof.
So, BAE Systems.
Spin again. Look, what we'll do is with our arms manufacturers, we'll make sure we no longer supply arms to military regimes that abuse human rights, invade other countries, etc. And we'll be... And we'll be, yes, we will be supporting them in terms of diversification so their workers can develop socially useful products with the skills and creativity they've got.
So something a bit like the Lucas plan.
The Lucas Aerospace plan, some of you will know about. Years and years ago, I funded some of the workers from Lucas Aerospace going around, and it was London at the time, explain the Lucas Aerospace plan. There's a new film out called The Plan, which is worth watching. And it is exactly that. The workers' creativity, developing products for the future. And actually, they were light years ahead because they were dealing with products and ideas that would eventually tackle climate change. Unfortunately, they never had the resources, and then Thatcherism came along. It's the sort of thing a Labour government under Jeremy Corbyn would do.
All right, one more spin. Let's go. Oh. I'd say
Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace.
Look, I think on Buckingham
On Buckingham Palace, is it going to be social housing for the many?
Look, on Buckingham Palace, I think we already own it.
All right, another spin on the wheel of public ownership.
Look, if you can just turn to the person next to you and say, look, if you are the Daily Mail reporter that's come tonight, we can get you on an NUJ course on journalism eventually.
Greggs!
Ash Sarkar has been running this campaign
I've not been running it, I've just been highly in favour.
To get me to nationalise Greggs. Look, I think Greggs are doing a good job at vegan sausages. And I think they should be encouraged. Can I say also, I work with the Bakers Union.
Greggs, got anyone from the Bakers Union here? Oh.
It's only a small union. Greggs actually have negotiated and recognised the Bakers Union and now are paying living wage. And actually now, as a result of that, doing environmental studies. Right. One more.
One more, come on, one more. One more spin.
One more spin. One more spin. One more spin. Oh.
El Gato.
We thought we were in the money for a second there.
I was going to say, that is going to have to be a bonus round. First El Gato, and then are you going to nationalise Novara?
With El Gato, this is most probably one of the most important political debates we're going to have. And there's issues around feline freedom that we need to take into account. And I don't want to say anything disparaging about the leader of the Labour Party, but the life that cat lives, forced to tour around that allotment, forced into a vegan lifestyle. And I think if there's anything that needs to be brought into public ownership, it's that cat. So in the first Queen's speech, someone's going to write this up, aren't they? With regard to Novara media, look, how can you seek to undermine the wonderful regime that there is there now? The way in which they work cooperatively, the way in which there's such a level of harmony and peace within the organization itself, which is portrayed in the way that they project their image. Anyway, let me just say this, honestly, I just want to thank Novara for what they do. Actually, I really do. Thanks a lot.
John, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you in number 11 in a few months' time. Ladies and gentlemen, John McDonnell. One more time and louder than that, come on.
Oh, we got to have another one. Come on, it's John McDonnell.
Is it bad that I want him to adopt me?
We'll ask. He'll nationalise you, maybe.
Nationalise me. Please take me into public ownership. I'm hungry and alone. So we're going to have another quick little break, then we'll come back for a roundup and music from the Hard Left House Band. So bear with us. There's still a lot of the night to come. Thank you.
We are only here very briefly now, so that we are going to close this beautiful night with the Hard Left House Band. But first of all, we have to say thank you all so much for coming. You've been a brilliant audience. Thank you so much to the volunteers at TWT who year after year put on an incredible event.
Can we just say that they built this set in about 2 weeks, and it was all volunteer labour who did it. So please, cheer, stamp your feet, make some noise, show them some love.
Also, we hate to do this, but we want to get bigger next year. And we do that with money! So please think about giving some money to Novara Media or the World Transformed. We presume you already give it to the Labour Party in your monthly dues. We're slightly less demanding. I'm going to leave it to you, Ash, I think.
So, by way of wrapping up, I just want to say that it's none of us on this stage who are important. It's not the politicians who are important. It's all of you. We win or lose the next election because of you. The Tory party, they've got money. They've got the press on their side. Maybe they killed Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know. But what we've got...
Certainly Prince Andrew. Well, we don't know who he votes for. Did the royal family vote? Well, it's not libel. I mean, it's just they've got the establishment. He's part of the establishment. I haven't made any real claims there. Anyway, you continue with the inspirational speech.
So we know who's going to be found
Otherwise,
dead.
you're going to have to
pretty
donate a lot
soon.
more.
But what we've got is people, and what we've got is passion, and we've got is activists who are willing to go out, have those conversations, and fight for a left-wing government. So I'm going to leave you with one thing, which is when you get out of here, when you leave Brighton, when you're nursing your 5-day hangover, like I will be, talk to someone who isn't registered to vote and convince them to register. Because we don't win by pandering to the Nigel Farage line and trying to win over people who hate us. How we win is by talking to people who feel that nothing in politics represents them or speaks to them or is going to help them. We're switching non-voters to voters, and that means a massive fucking registration drive. So thank you so much. One last time, give it up for the Radical Variety Show.
And when we see you the same time, in the same place, well, it'll be in Liverpool next year, we will be in government.
Right, Soweto, play us out, my guy.
All right, let's do this. That felt like an abrupt segue, to be honest. It's been real. Thank you. I feel like we didn't get a chance to do this. We're going to try something a bit different for our freestyle. Has anyone noticed how different newscaster theme tunes have news theme tunes have different vibes, right? There's ITN, which is a bit like a kind of pop rave vibe. You've got BBC News, which is like an Afrobeat vibe. And Channel 4, which is a ragga vibe. So I'm going to let you pick. I've got my personal favorites, but I think we're going to wrap up and totally infringe copyright and get sued by whichever newscaster and do our alternative version of the news. So which one would you like to hear? Make some noise if you want to hear the pop rave vibe. Okay, that definitely is another one. What about the Afrobeat vibe? Huh? BBC News coming out strong there. What about Channel 4 ragga vibes? Dancehall. All right, my choice is made. I saw we go. Hey, let's go. Are we ready, guys? Hey, I saw we come and so you see. Make some noise for TWT. Hey, TWT. Hey. Krishna Guru Murphy. I saw me do, I saw me set. I saw me get the freestyle every day. Hey! I saw we come on when I say the word. You transform the world. The world. The world. The world. Hey! having way too much fun with this right now. Break it down, break it! Drums, break it down, baby. Dub it. All right, you guys, you having fun, right? This is the fun section of the show where we just dance and rock out. But I'd like to do a freestyle recap in a slightly slower version of this. Let's do it. Keep that going. All right, check it. I'm going to play this wrap-up game one last time. Hopefully we'll have some special guests joining us. I'm not sure, but we'll soon see. As for that, you guys have had a good time tonight, right? It's good to see so many familiar faces, lovable lefties. Love you guys. All right, I need 5 more words that we can work with in this alternative news galaxy. You got one? You got one? We've done socialism though. You weren't here earlier, you missed it. It was a moment. Anyone got a word that's not socialism? The Green New Deal. I love the fact it's like a fully fledged sentence as well. All right. All cops are basketballers, you said. Are basket cases. Live in bars. I'm with it, I'm barred, I'm with it. All right, all caps, let's go. Anything else? I can't hear them, sorry. All right, great, okay, I think I got that one. Something about Chuck Norris. You all look too young to remember Chuck Norris. I don't. All right. Election. I'm with that one. He's long gone. I'm not doing any publicity for that guy. He's on every news channel selling his bloody book. Just 2 more. We need 2 more subjects. What about someone in the middle who's been quiet thus far? What did you say? I just need a word, not a conversation, bro. Clint Eastwood. Okay, all right, cool. That's a good one. I don't